Hello, class. The president we're going to talk about today is our third president, Thomas Jefferson. He's fairly recognizable. He's on Mount Rushmore. He's on the $2 bill. He's on the nickel. Thomas Jefferson was born April 14th, 1743. He died July 4th, 1826. This is the 50th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, the July, and that's the same day that his political nemesis and on and off again friend, John Adams, dies. His home state is Virginia. 4 of the first 5 presidents of the United States are going to be slave-holding men from Virginia. Now, Thomas Jefferson's religion. A lot of the founders' religion is a bit unclear. Thomas Jefferson seems to fall into the category of deist, where he believes in some sort of a higher power that created the world, but that power does not actively interact with us in our regular day-to-day lives. He has the Jefferson Bible, in which he removes the miracles of Jesus. He seemed very open to Jesus's moral teachings, but very questioning of anything that we might consider supernatural. Comes to his family. He was married to a woman named Martha. However, she dies prematurely, and we have none of their correspondence. So for most of his life following that, for lack of a better word, his romantic affections were going to one of his slaves named Sally Hemings, who was actually the half-sister of his wife. And there are 3, for sure, children of Thomas Jefferson and Sally Hemings, but it could be up to 12 there. And this is not in dispute. Modern DNA testing has proven it. Monticello, where he lived, is a historical site. It invites all of Thomas Jefferson's descendants there today, and it is widely accepted that he carried on a very long relationship with his slave, who could not possibly have consented to what they were doing as the nature of slavery. The founding fathers are men of contradictions. Thomas Jefferson writes much about freedom, yet was still involved in the bondage of human beings. So, for his party, though, his party is the Democratic Republican Party. And this is a bit of an anachronistic term. This is the party that will eventually become what we call the Democratic Party today, if you go far enough back. But they would have called themselves Republicans in reference to the Republic of Rome, Roman Republic. The founding fathers were obsessed with everything ancient Greece, ancient Rome. Now, the Democratic was sometimes added because democracy was associated with mob rule. So that was supposed to be kind of an epithet. So you can find things calling Thomas Jefferson a Democrat and him referring to himself as a Republican. But because those have become our modern political parties, historians write Democratic Republican. So his term of office is going to be March 4th, 1801 to March 4th, 1809. There were no term limits when Thomas Jefferson ended his time. He almost certainly could have won the presidential election of 1808. However, he steps down. And so Washington sets the precedent. Jefferson solidifies it. This 2-term thing. So his first vice president is Aaron Burr, who he had a horrible, contentious relationship with, partly due to Burr trying to usurp him for the presidency, and the scandals involved during that time. So when Jefferson ran for re-election, he had the governor of New York, George Clinton, as his new running mate. During Jefferson's term, they are going to have the 12th Amendment passed, which makes it so that presidents have a running mate, that it is not the second place person that goes and becomes the president. So, other accomplishments of Thomas Jefferson, he was a colonial governor of Virginia. At one point, though, he flees the governor's mansion when Virginia was being occupied by the British. He is the main author of the Declaration of Independence, being the one that wrote the first copy. There was a committee involved. Thomas Jefferson is the first Secretary of State that is going to be confirmed by the Senate. So he's there during Washington's first term. Later, he is vice president to John Adams, before later becoming president himself. In Jefferson's time as president, probably his largest accomplishment is going to be the Louisiana Purchase, in which he makes a deal with Napoleon Bonaparte to purchase the territory of Louisiana. And the result of this is that the nation gets twice as big. It is also why my home state of Iowa, how it comes into the fold as being part of the United States. Now, Jefferson always saw himself as someone that believed in smaller government, in states' rights, yet he expanded the size of the United States using federal power in a way that neither of the Federalist presidents did. The Founding Fathers are men of contradiction. That's what makes them interesting. So, after his presidency, Thomas Jefferson will eventually rekindle his friendship with John Adams, and they will die on the exact same day. So next time, we're going to talk about James Madison.